discussion. With one object, to restore hope and trust to ex-felons nationwide, we ask a congressional act be introduced on federal and state level which would conform to the below discussions titled the Convicted Felon Act. State representative, state senator, we ask you to personally call your federal representative and federal senator to ask them to introduce legislation on the federal level which would restore ex-felons' right to purchase firearms after 5 years has passed since his release from incarceration or parole probation, to amend the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms regulations denying ex-felons the right to purchase firearms. After this time period has lapsed, you're our only hope in contacting these high authorities in our nation. We also ask on a state level you introduce legislation which would restore ex-felons' rights to buy and possess firearms on state level. Scroll down for more arguments in support of this. exfelon.biz is our new website. We ask you, our legislator, to visit our website, study our political objectives, listen to our audio commentations, and read our written articles. Our changes in laws are to restore hope to ex-felons who have no rights nor opportunities to live in our society protected from violent crime because of a previous felony conviction. They are denied the right to own firearms, and by so doing their lives are in danger, as well as their wives and kids. We're dedicated to ending all discriminatory laws which prevent them from finding jobs or renting homes or owning firearms. We hope to roll back this hard line on crime policy and not punish the ex-felon with state laws which endanger his and his family's lives. This also pushes them back into crime as criminal background checks deny them a job and to rent a house. We need to seal their criminal records up after 5 years of staying out of trouble. We discuss this in depth in our political objectives in our website, exfelon.biz. State representative, state senator, if you agree and support the following legislation, will you contact your federal representative and your federal senator and personally express to him your desire for him to introduce federal legislation restoring ex-felons' rights to own and purchase firearms after 5 years has passed since that ex-felon finishes his sentence or parole probation period, to specifically change the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency's policy of intimidating gun dealers who sell to ex-felons, amend their policy to restore ex-felons' rights to purchase firearms after 5 years. We're attempting to restore ex-felons' right to possess firearms. They currently are allowed the right to possess muzzleloader type firearms here in North Carolina, Texas, and South Carolina. We referred to Texas law on this issue. That state permits ex-felons to own firearms after 5 years has passed, 5 years after finishing parole or probation and or completing his incarceration. This 5-year waiting period separates or weeds out those ex-felons who repeatedly recommit crimes. And the Texas Criminal Justice and Legislation done a fact-finding statistics research on this issue. They discovered ex-felons who recommit crimes do so within 18 months of getting out. And 70% of felons getting out return within this 18-month period. They're the ones keeping the prisons full, repeat offenders. Now, on the flip side of these statistics is the ex-felons as myself, ex-felons who stay out 5 years. The statistics prove that 90% of these ex-felons never return to recommit another crime. It's a good felon, bad felon dilemma. We need to deal with them by separating these two groups and completely restore one group's rights to defend their lives and lives of their wives and children while keeping a closer control over the group that shows to be the trouble. I I'm an example of an ex-felon who is stable, who will never return and recommit another crime.